Recruiting shows you the future. Spring ball shows you the present. Always remember that. Welcome back to UCLA Football TV, hosted by Westwood 739. Family, I'm so excited. Spring ball is about to start. And this is a time of year where you can feel it. You can feel when a program is starting to move different. Not because somebody tweeted something. It's because the conversations are starting to change. We're starting to talk about spring football across the Big Ten Conference. And that means a lot here at UCLA. The way coaches move changes. The way recruits talk changes. And with Bob Chesney, he's been giving up enough things to talk about the right way. We're not guessing anymore. We're not pretending that we're sitting inside these staff meetings. I'm just reading the pattern. And right now, the pattern says something simple. Bob Chesney is recruiting like UCLA is expected to matter again. He's moving like he expects to win. And that's the type of coach we have to have. And spring ball is about to tell us if that energy actually turns into football. Because if it doesn't show up in practice, it's just talk. And you guys know what I'm talking about. The eye test. When we see these players in practice, we should be able to see immediate improvement. So let's get into it. Bob Chesney, year 3 for UCLA inside the Big Ten. Year 1 for Bob Chesney at UCLA. At some point, we're not going to settle for no more excuses. And what I'm starting to notice about this staff is something important. They don't feel like a staff that's trying to figure it out. They feel like a staff trying to build something that's going to last. You can hear it in how recruits describe the conversations that they have with them. You can see it in where the coaches are showing up in Southern California. You can see it in the type of names that keep popping up around UCLA. I'm excited, fam. So let's talk about those names. Recruiting boards tell you what a program is trying to become. When the recruits are talking about your program, that's definitely a good sign. They show you what the staff is actually selling. And one name that jumped out early to me, Duve Williams, Serra High School. He's a cornerback. One of the most important things about this is this kid is local, Serra High. The fact that we're at Serra and this kid is local and he's talking about UCLA, that's the type of impact this coaching staff is having on the program already. And what stood out wasn't just that UCLA is involved. It's how the kid talks about the program, the vision, the program being intentional, the new culture, accountability, standard. When recruits start using words like that, that's not random. That's the type of language that comes directly from the head coach and his coaching staff. That language comes from the message inside the building. And when multiple recruits start repeating the same themes, that's when you know this staff is pushing a clear identity. Now let's stay in the city for a second, because another name that means something to UCLA fans, Deuce Jones-Drew, Maurice Jones-Drew's son. You guys already know what that name carries around Westwood. That's legacy weight. That's a family that already understands UCLA football. And when a recruit like that is rocking with the staff, that tells you something deeper than football. That tells you and me that trust is forming, because the families who understood UCLA the most, they know the difference between real and fake energy. And right now, the energy around the staff feels real. Now, here's where things get interesting, because recruiting isn't just about getting stars. It's about building the right base. The Big Ten will punish you if you have to rebuild every single year. That's why I'm constantly bringing up depth. We have to make sure we got the right people behind our starters. And one thing that we haven't been doing a great job at, you have to develop players. You have to keep guys in the building. Portal football is real. We all know that, but you still need a foundation. And the way Chesney is moving inside Los Angeles right now, it looks like he understands that. Over in West Los Angeles, there's a high school coach over at Hamilton High, Elijah Asante, and he's giving Bob Chesney so much love publicly, and I get why. Because when a Power 4 head coach shows up at a LA City school, I'm not talking about his assistants. I'm talking about the actual head coach. And he's not acting like he's too big for the room. That matters. That's presence. That's showing respect to people who actually build the football culture in the city. That's not sending assistants. That's the head coach showing up himself. And in LA, that builds credibility fast. Street credibility. That's what the coach over at Hamilton called it. And honestly, he's not wrong. If UCLA wants to win recruiting in LA again, the head coach has to show up. Not talk about it, he actually has to show up. And that's what we're starting to see. Now let's shift to quarterback recruiting, because quarterback recruiting tells you everything about how serious a program is. Quarterbacks don't commit to schools that they don't think they're going to be able to win at. Quarterbacks want to see a plan in place. They want to know what the offense is. They want to know who develops them. They want to know what the staff believes in. And one name that keeps coming up early, I'm going to butcher this name, family. Don't beat me up in the comments. That is Bruja, a young quarterback early in his process. But the conversation around him already is telling you something. The kid is talking about quarterback ownership, how the quarterback operates inside the offense, how much control the quarterback has. And that's Dean Kennedy's offense that we're talking about. That's the offensive coordinator. That tells you the staff isn't just talking about the facilities. They're actually selling structure. They're selling system. And quarterbacks pay attention to that. If you're enjoying this kind of UCLA football conversation, I need you to lock in. Subscribe to the channel, because spring ball is about to give us a lot to talk about. And if you've been locked in, you're just as excited as I am about spring ball. Now back to it. Now the main quarterback name that keeps showing up, Dane Weber. And when you see a staff recruiting quarterbacks like that seriously, that tells you how they view the program's trajectory. Quarterbacks like Weber don't want to join unstable situations. They want to see direction. They want to see a staff that know what they're doing. So if UCLA is in that conversation, that tells me the pitch is strong. It tells me the staff is presenting a clear plan. And that right there is how you start moving like a real Big Ten program. Not a team hoping to surprise people, a team expecting to compete. Now there's another quarterback named Blake Roskfoof. Big body quarterback, out of state though. And that's another signal, because it shows UCLA isn't just relying on recruiting locally. They're building a local base because they need to, and then picking their spots nationally. That balance matters. Local core, selective national targets. That's how strong programs recruit. Now let's shift to the receiver room, because the receiver room tells you if the staff has energy. We have to pay attention to what Colin Lockett is doing. He's our wide receivers coach. He got local ties and he's out of Diamond Bar. And recruits keep mentioning his personality, energy, humor, connection. That's Dane Weber saying that directly. And family, that matters, because high school players don't fall in love with playbooks. They fall in love with relationships. If players connect with the position coach, that's how the room starts pulling talent. And if you can already see the early signs, Michael Fernandez, slot receiver, that's early buy-in. That first commits matter. They set the tone. Then you got receiver names like Blake Wong up in Norco, 4-star. When UCLA starts showing up in those conversations, that's movement. And then there's Damani Warren, a big receiver, right here, local, LA native. And again, that connection to wide receiver coach Lockett keeps coming up, family. That's relationship recruiting. That's how position rooms start building momentum. Now let me pause here for a second, because recruiting conversations are exciting, but fans care about something else. They want to see the product change. I want to see the product change. I'm here to see the eye test. If it passes the eye test, then I'm locked in and I'm feeling good about it. And that brings us to the trenches. You know, I love talking about the offensive and the defensive line, because in the Big Ten, everything starts inside. You can recruit receivers all day. If you can't run the ball on 3rd and 2, none of it is going to matter. So I look at the staff hires. Vic Soto, linebackers. Ligi Sanoa, defensive line. Those hires matter, family. Those names carry real weight with Polynesian families. They carry weight with trench players on the West Coast. And when the staff make those hires, that tells me already they understand something about this conference. The Big Ten does not reward finesse football. The Big Ten rewards teams that hold up, teams with bodies, teams with players who actually like contact. We're not running from it. Bring it. This is going to be real Bruin football. And hiring those coaches signals that shift. Now let's talk about offensive line recruiting, because this is where you start seeing the big boys and the big boy part of the plan. Lincoln Maggio, interior lineman out of Oceanside. And when you listen to what he's talking about, He's focused on development. He's focused on film breakdown, coaching style, how the offensive line coach teaches. That's not fluff. That's a player thinking about growth. That's the type of player that UCLA needs. That's the kind of recruit you want. Then you got names like Lex Melangi, modern day interior lineman, massive frame. Come on, family. When was the last time we put recruits from modern day? And when you start stacking those types of players and being a part of those type of conversation, it tells you UCLA is trying to rebuild the interior of the roster. And that connects directly to something we've been saying all off season. Short yardage has to change. 3rd and 2 cannot feel like we're going to break down before we even snap the ball. It has to feel like we're prepared and we're going to get it. Because if we're planning on competing inside the Big Ten like we should, you have to control those moments. Now, let me throw this question back at y'all. Drop it in the comments. Which position group are you watching the closest during spring ball? Offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, linebackers. Because spring practice always reveals something that we wasn't expecting. Sometimes it's not even the starters. Sometimes it's the second group that tells the real story. Now let's keep moving. Running back recruiting. Jason Stokes. And we already talked about Deuce Jones-Drew. But again, that's a mix of local and national targets. And that's how staffs build classes now. High school talent plus portal flexibility. Because the Big Ten schedule is long. It's physical and somebody is always going to miss time. Depth is going to matter. Now let's talk about the tight ends. UCLA should already be known for tight ends. Zach Ferris, Jason Cannon, Christian Hanshaw. Do they land them all? No, of course not. But recruiting boards shows your priority. And the tight end board tells me UCLA wants versatility, blocking, receiving, physical presence, the type of tight end that helps you control games. Now let's zoom out for half a second because the names are interesting, but the pattern matters more. What does the pattern tell us? It tells us Bob Chesney is trying to build 3 things. First, a real local foundation. We have to have it. This staff is present inside of Los Angeles, and that matters. Second, the trenches are a priority again. Offensive line, defensive line, linebacker recruiting. Those positions are showing up everywhere on the board. Third, quarterback identity. Who's playing after Nico? When Nico goes to the pros, who's coming in? The quarterbacks they're targeting? Solid. They want leadership responsibility. And that's a great sign. And that's why I can't wait for spring ball, because that's going to tell us a lot. Recruiting shows you the future. Spring ball shows you the present. Always remember that. So when practice starts, I'm watching for specific details. How organized does the team look? How fast do they line up? How quickly does the second group rotate in? That part right there is huge. Who's going to be on the field the majority of the time? The starters or the entire team rotating in and out? Who's communicating? Because good coaching shows up in the boring stuff, not the highlights, the boring stuff. Now, let me drop the final quick reminder. If you're following spring ball with us this year, subscribe to the channel. We're going to stay on UCLA football all season. Now, let's get back to the point. Recruiting energy is exciting, but practice energy reveals the truth. Does the team look comfortable with the pads on? Does the defense communicate? Does the offense move efficiently? Does the second unit look prepared? Because when the program starts turning a corner, you see it in those small moments first. And that's what I'll be watching for. Because if the signals we're seeing in recruiting show up in spring practice, we made the right choice by bringing in Bob Chesney. Then UCLA might be finally building something real, not hype, not hope, actual structure. And in this conference, structure is going to win way more games than love. So now we wait. Spring ball is around the corner. And when that whistle blows, we're going to find out real quick what kind of program this actually is. Make sure you lock in because you don't want to miss the next video. Friday's video is going to give you everything you need to know. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's 100% free. UCLA Football TV hosted by West 739. Forza up.